A Sunday morning surprise in the TV news business. Chris Wallace, the veteran moderator of Fox News Sunday, is leaving the network effective immediately. Here's how he announced it on his show just a few minutes ago.
It may sound corny, but I feel we've built a community here. There's a lot you can do on Sunday mornings. The fact you've chosen to spend this hour with us is something I cherish. But after 18 years, I have decided to leave Fox. I want to try something new, to go beyond politics to all the things I'm interested in. I'm ready for a new adventure, and I hope you'll check it out.
This is a shock to the TV news business. Chris Wallace is one of the, the journalists that is at Fox who stands out like a sore thumb because the network has become more and more radicalized, both in the Trump years and now in the Biden years. Wallace last signed a contract at Fox in 2017, so he had a 4-year deal. And I'm told, according to a source with knowledge of the matter, that he decided to leave on his own. He wanted out at the end of his contract this year. So that speaks volumes about Fox and what's changing at Fox. But it also raises the question, where might he be going next? Now, like I said, this news just broke in the last hour, but there are several outlets reporting that Wallace may join CNN, specifically its streaming service CNN Plus, which is launching early next year. CNN has not confirmed this, but as soon as I get a comment from a CNN spokesperson, I'll let you know. But for now, let's talk about why this is a significant change at Fox News. As Brian Klaas, the author, pointed out on Twitter here, he says, just like the increasingly authoritarian Republican Party, when organizations radicalize, the moderates either get purged or purge themselves. Again, in the case of Wallace, I'm told by a source that Fox wanted him to stay. He decided to leave. He has something new that he wants to do. So what does that say about Fox and the right-wing media? Joining me now, S.C. Cupp, CNN political commentator and nationally syndicated columnist. Will Bunch, national correspondent for the Philadelphia Inquirer. And Julia Ioffe, founding partner and Washington correspondent for Puck. Thank you all for being here. Julia, you wrote recently about the tensions in and around Fox News. You know, Tucker Carlson, day by day, month by month, taking over Fox, and it's his radicalism that defines Fox. Do you think Chris Wallace, an old school Washington correspondent, just did not fit in anymore at Fox News?
I don't think he did, and he was often attacked by the right wing and, people at Fox. I feel like Fox is becoming, it's like a crazy sauce that you keep on the burner and it keeps reducing more and more and gets more and more concentrated. And I think, that flavor isn't for everybody. I can see why Chris Wallace, who's a kind of more down the middle, just the facts ma'am journalist, I think it's hard to stay at a place like that.
S.C. Cupp, what do you say?
Well, Brian, I think you and I were on a couple of years ago. I don't know if it was your show or my show, but we were talking about the departure of Shep Smith and how that was maybe a harbinger of some things to come. And I think this premise was always a bit unsustainable. Fox News used people like Shep and Chris and Bret Baier to say, look, we have a news division. Yes, we have our entertainment side, but we also have news people. Except, as Julia mentioned, the news side was reporting on stuff that the entertainment side started contradicting and calling fake news. Right. That was bad. And then the entertainment side started openly attacking people like Chris and Shep for their reporting of the news. That's unsustainable. So when you have this carve out and say, look at someone like Chris Wallace as evidence that we're in the sort of clean category, but then you don't protect him from attacks inside the building, it's no wonder he wanted to leave and do something new.
And very recently, the Washington Post said that when Tucker Carlson's his 1/6 Truther documentary came out, that Chris Wallace and Bret Baier complained internally. They were uncomfortable with the conspiracy theory stuff that's coming out of primetime. But, what's happening for Fox for years is news is shrinking, right-wing alternative programming is growing and growing and growing, and so there's less and less room for Chris Wallace. Will Bunch, what's your view of today's breaking news?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think this kind of makes a mockery out of their original mantra of fair and balanced that they started out with 25 years ago. Like S.E. said, the presence of, Chris Wallace and Bret Baier and some of these other, and Shepard Smith certainly, gave them the opportunity to say, look, we have a news side. We challenge conservatives. Chris Wallace, almost every week, he had access to Republican insiders, and he challenged them regularly. And that was a service for all of us, frankly, because other media outlets don't always have access to some of these Republican figures. And Chris Wallace gave them a hard time. And this is kind of an Adam Kinzinger, Liz Cheney, like you said, moment for the right-wing media, just like the Republican Party. Is there a place for moderates? Is there a place for people who will question the Trumpist status quo? And he may have had other reasons for moving on. Like he said, he's been doing this for 18 years. I hope he finds personal happiness in whatever he does. But you have to think the just incredible rightward drift of Fox in the last couple of years played a big part in this.
Fox does
Can I
say
just say, Brian, I don't
hosts.
want to interrupt, but
no, please.
Well, I just want to say it's not. I don't think the question, to Will's point, is there room for moderates? Is there room for journalists? Chris Wallace was not defined ideologically. Is there a room for journalism at Fox? As you said, Brian, the entertainment side has really been encroaching on the news side. It's almost all of Dayside now is, outnumbered in the 5 and these sort of entertainment projects. That's the fundamental and existential question.
Fox does say rotating hosts will fill in, so I expect to see John Roberts, Shannon Bream, Brett Baer, Martha McCallum. They'll fill in on the show. But that show is like an island. And what's going on the rest of the time is now so, as you said, it's entertainment, but it's resentment entertainment. It's designed to make you get even angrier about President Biden, make you hate him even more. Here's a sample just in the last couple of days, what's happening the rest of the time on Fox News.
Every day is now a struggle for Joe. Walking, talking, reading, remembering.
President Biden desperately wants you to think the economy is excellent.
What he's doing is killing the economy. It's killing American families.
Prices surging to the highest level in 40 years. Just in time to ruin Christmas for millions of Americans.
This country is going to hell in a handbasket, and you know it. America today is a land of total chaos and confusion.
This is where we're heading, America.
I would be so scared to leave the house if I watched that all day. The message there, at the same time, they're saying President Biden is too weak to be president. They're also saying he is too evil to keep the country alive, and the economy has been ruined because of him. And by the way, Christmas is ruined, they say as well. So the reason I wanted to play all that, to give a sense of what's happening in that bubble, is that it is affecting President Biden. He is aware of the noise. Here's what he told Jimmy Fallon on Friday night.
We've been in less than a year. A lot has happened. And look, people are afraid. People are worried. And people are getting so much inaccurate information to them. I don't mean about me, but about their situation. And so they're being told that, Armageddon's on the way. Yeah. The truth is, the economy has grown more than it has any time in close to 60 years.
And then he went on to acknowledge inflation. Look, angst in America is real. There's pandemic uncertainty, there's economic turmoil, there's political propaganda, and it's affecting Biden's polling. A new polling out from ABC today saying his poll approval rating still sliding, people very concerned about inflation and other issues. But there's two things that are true here. Yes, there's real angst in America. There's also this propaganda machine saying Armageddon's on the way. As Biden said, Armageddon's on the way. There's this portrayal of what's happening in America as, a catastrophe. That's why we're playing the Armageddon trailer. And I think that word catastrophe, it's apropos for far too much of the partisan media coverage of what's going on in the U.S. right now. Always jumping to the absolute worst case scenario. This new variant being the latest example. Always assuming the worst. And so what's happening is that Fox and the anti-Biden media are exaggerating real problems. Kind of like the way a toddler turns an innocent bump in the night into a nightmare about a scary monster under the bed. Yes, there's a real bump in the night, but there is no monster. Here's Donald Trump on Fox doing exactly what I'm describing. Here he is with Laura Ingraham, lying through his teeth about gas prices.
Gasoline was at $1.87 a gallon, and now in California it's over $7, $7.77 to be exact.
So to be exact, the actual price for regular gas in California is $4.67. So it's quite high right now, especially in California. Gas prices are a real issue, but then Trump so egregiously exaggerates the issue, he makes it into, as Biden said, some kind of Armageddon. And this is the kind of inaccurate information that I think Biden is rightly referencing when he's on with Fallon. And this is also what White House aides are calling out when they are criticizing the mainstream media, the non-Fox media, for being so negative.